There's a number of interesting controls on this machine. Have the power button here. Here we have the audio channel control. Playback channel 1 only, channel 2 only, or mix. This is the skew button. That's for controlling the image. Here is a timer. You can turn this off and on, and it works with this memory counter here, which has this little analog dial odometer 3-digit type thing. The way this works is if you want to have the same video repeating over and over again, you can set this, and when it hits a certain time, it'll stop the tape, rewind it, and then play it again. Over here we have some very basic controls. You have stop, pause, eject, rewind, forward, and fast forward. Keep in mind, however, that this does not have like a preview scan. You want to get ahead on the tape, you have to guess how far you're going to go ahead. Hit the stop button, hit fast forward, guess how far ahead you want to go, hit stop again, hit forward, and then hopefully you'll hit somewhere about where you want to be. Here's the still adjustment. If I hit pause, the frame might not be in a precise spot, so I can use this little lever to control the frame. The auto repeat, that goes back to the timer counter on the other side. The tracking, this is part of the image control. Tracking is done automatically these days. If you have any sort of DVD player or old VHS machine, there's a chip in there that automatically takes care of it. This button here is an old VTR TV button. This is still present on a lot of machines, remote controls even to this day. That lets you bypass the circuit, go directly to the TV without having to feed through. The standby button, standby light, along with all the lights, we'll demonstrate in just a little bit. This is the back of the machine, and I'll go in for a close-up in half a second. Here's our power cable in. Above it is a RF out. That's tuned to channel 3. Here we have your audio out, RCA connectors. So that's standard, just like a VCR. This gizmo here and this gizmo here, these are the hookups for either watching a remote TV or hooking it up to a video editing system. Something you really don't want to do these days. Here's another RCA out, which is if you're going to hook it up to a monitor, separate setup, you'll need an amplifier. The video out, again, here you have a channel 3 sort of thing. This is the old style coax. You'll be familiar with this if you have like a CB antenna or something. I've converted it to a RCA output. VHF in, VHF out, and then the remote, of course. We should talk about the tapes. This is a 3/4 inch format. The tape comes in a big humongous box like this. Alright, this is a standard size cassette, 3/4 inch cassette. Then they made the little portable cassettes too. Alright, so you can see the difference in size, and either one of these would feed into this slot here. So let's power this thing up. Hit the eject button, and I'll show you. You can feed that one in. And we can feed that one in. Alright, let's open this thing up and take a look at the inside, and I'll show you how this thing operates. One thing I wanted to point out first, though, this is made back in the days when they still used real wood or real simulated wood. You know, you could build a house out of these planks. The screws have already been removed on this grating, and I'm just going to pull this off. And here we have the inside of the machine. I wanted to show this to you before I got it operating because it is kind of a complex piece of equipment. This is the video head right here, if you can see the laser pointer. This ring, the tape comes out of the cassette. These little prongies pull the tape out of the cassette, and the spinning thing is the actual video head holder. The heads themselves are tiny, little things. They're about the size of a match head or smaller that stick out of the side of this thing. Over here, down in here, this is the audio head, so the audio head is separate. This thing here, this will actually spin around while the tape is in turn moving across the head. This is sometimes referred to as a helical scan system. The idea behind it is to allow the maximum amount of travel across the three heads. This allows for miniaturization instead of having a head that was like 6 inches tall and tape that's 6 inches tall. Over here we have the primary motor and the fan, more controls. All this stuff over here, this whole thing is solid state. I don't think there's anything that's even close to a computer chip. Buried way down in there is a fuse, and there's a whole bunch of wires and stuff in here. I mean, the copper alone in this thing could probably get me, a couple bucks if I wanted to junk it and turn it in. Right above the laser pointer, that little notch there, that is the actual head, or one of three heads. And let's see if we can control this here. You see it's spinning around now. There's a head there. There's another head. There's a head. Alright, now for the fun part. We're going to feed a tape in here and hit the eject button. Alright, way off to the left of the screen, the tape is being inserted. I'm going to hit the forward button. Now watch that mechanism. This thing is a little tired, so sometimes it needs some help. You can see it stretching the tape out. Okay. If you look, you can see the tape has fed across the tape head here. Okay, see the tape there? Alright. You can see this tape is just going all the way across here. Let's hit the stop button. You'll see it retract. Show you this again. We'll hit the eject button. Alright. Here's our cassette. We insert it. We hit the forward button. And let's see if it takes the tape all the way. Nope. It needs help almost every time now. The machine's getting on to 40 years old. Hit the stop button. One more time for the heck of it. Show you the eject. Tape comes in and out. We hit the forward button. You can see that this gizmo here just doesn't like to come all the way out. So this thing here is spinning around. It has the heads on it. So the tape is moving across a moving surface. Alright, so the million-dollar question, if you've lasted this long into this video, is why the hell would anybody have such a boat anchor on hand? Well, I got this thing a long time ago. A friend of mine who was in fast food, and they used this for training tapes. And I went to school, I did some television classes, and we had projects, and we had projects, and we had projects. And what happened was I ended up with a whole bunch of 3/4 inch tapes. So what I'm going to do is eventually transfer them. Well, how do you transfer tape? Well, that's where the miracle of technology comes in. This little gizmo here, that's a USB, and it has an SVHS, which this clunker doesn't have. It has 2 audios and a video, and what I do is I just take these, I plug them into the back of the machine, I plug this into my computer, either my PC or my laptop, and this comes with the video capture software. And with the video capture software I can transfer all of these tapes. Well, I hope you've learned all you want to know about the Panasonic video cassette KV9100A like Apple. It's actually a fairly worthwhile machine. This particular format was a good format for its time, but even on its best day, it's not as good as a standard digital signal from a standard digital camera. If any of you have any questions, please be sure to comment. If you have any 3/4 inch stories, I'd be glad to hear them. Happy taping!